If you type my parents' name into the Google machine, it's a rabbit hole.
Paul Newman, born on January 26, 1925, in Cleveland Heights, Ohio, was a man whose striking blue eyes made him famous and whose movies made him a legend. However, behind the scenes, he was a different person altogether. Now, his daughter is sharing the truth about his private life, including the drinking that nearly tore their family apart, the guilt he carried after his son's overdose, and the surprising confession he made on his deathbed. This revelation challenges everything people thought they knew about him. Paul's family background was a blend of cultures and traditions. His father, Arthur Newman, was Jewish, descending from Hungarian and Polish immigrants, while his mother, Teresa, was of Slovak heritage. The Newmans owned a successful sporting goods store in Shaker Heights, an affluent suburb of Cleveland, providing financial security and a comfortable upbringing for Paul. Despite this, he faced discrimination, as Shaker Heights was predominantly Christian, and anti-Semitism was prevalent at the time. In high school, Paul excelled as an athlete and a student, but he was refused fraternity membership due to his father's Jewish roots, an experience that stayed with him and possibly shaped his later beliefs about equality and justice. Paul's childhood was also rich with creativity. At just 7 years old, he took part in a school play, Robin Hood, igniting a passion for acting. He soon joined the Cleveland Playhouse's children's theater program, performing in plays such as St. George and the Dragon. Although acting was not yet a career aspiration, it was something he truly enjoyed. After graduating from Shaker Heights High School in 1943, Paul enrolled at Kenyon College to study economics. However, his education was interrupted by World War II. Just before turning 18, he enlisted in the U.S. Navy, aspiring to become a pilot. During training, however, doctors discovered he was colorblind, disqualifying him from flying. Instead, he was reassigned as a radio man and rear gunner for torpedo bombers. In 1945, while stationed in Hawaii preparing for combat missions, Paul's unit was assigned to the USS Bunker Hill, an aircraft carrier engaged in the Battle of Okinawa. Just before deployment, his pilot developed an ear infection, grounding their crew. Mere days later, the Bunker Hill was attacked by kamikaze pilots, resulting in the deaths of hundreds of sailors, including many from Paul's unit. Had it not been for that ear infection, Paul would likely have been among the casualties. He completed his service and was honored with medals, including the American Area Medal, reflecting his contribution during the war. Paul Newman was honored with the Campaign Medal and the World War II Victory Medal for his service, but more importantly, his near-death experience left him with a new outlook on life. Feeling as though he had been given a second chance, he vowed not to waste it. After the war, he returned to Kenyon College, but his interest in economics waned. Instead, he joined the drama club, participating in plays like The Front Page, Charlie's Aunt, and The Taming of the Shrew. His role in Charlie's Aunt, where he portrayed a man dressed as a woman, brought much-needed humor to the campus after a devastating fire. Additionally, he showcased his storytelling skills by writing and directing a satirical student musical that humorously critiqued campus life. Despite struggling academically, theater gave him a sense of purpose, and even his expulsion from Ohio University proved to be a blessing in disguise, steering him towards something better. After graduating in 1949, Newman's life took another unexpected turn when his father passed away in 1950, leaving him to manage the family business, Newman Stern Sporting Goods, a major Cleveland store since 1915. However, Newman felt trapped in a life he didn't desire and spent 18 months running the store before realizing that he was merely escaping his true passion. In 1951, he made a bold move by leaving Cleveland and enrolling at the Yale School of Drama. Initially, he planned to study directing, doubting his ability to become an actor. However, after a year at Yale, he took another leap and moved to New York City to train under Lee Strasberg at the renowned Actors Studio, where he learned method acting techniques that would shape his future performances. His breakthrough came in 1953 when he secured a role in Picnic, a Broadway play by William Inge. Although he aspired to play the lead role of Hal Carter, director Joshua Logan cast him as Alan Seymour, a supporting character. While it wasn't the part he wanted, Picnic became a major success, running for 4 years and earning critical acclaim. Newman's portrayal, marked by a quiet intensity and a subtle portrayal of pain beneath his composed exterior, resonated with audiences, and he received praise for his ability to add depth to the role. This success led to his first Academy Award nomination for Best Actor, proving that he was more than just a handsome face. The film itself was a hit, earning 6 Academy Award nominations, and although it didn't win, it solidified Newman's status as a leading Hollywood star. Filming in color unexpectedly highlighted his striking blue eyes, which became an iconic feature as renowned as his acting. By the early 1960s, Newman was at the peak of his career. In 1961, he starred in The Hustler as Fast Eddie Felson, a small-time pool hustler with big dreams. The film's stylish, intense narrative, filled with moral dilemmas, showcased Newman's ability to blend arrogance with vulnerability, creating one of cinema's most memorable anti-heroes. The film earned 9 Academy Award nominations, including 1 for Newman. In 1963, he portrayed Hud Bannon, a self-centered rancher in Hud, a Western drama that challenged traditional hero archetypes. Hud's reckless and morally ambiguous nature made him a new kind of Hollywood character. The film won 3 Academy Awards and garnered Newman another Best Actor nomination. Then in 1967, he delivered an iconic performance in Cool Hand Luke as Luke Jackson, a defiant prisoner who resisted the system's attempts to break him. His portrayal became a cultural symbol of resistance, and the line, "What we've got here is failure to communicate," spoken by Strother Martin's character, became forever associated with Newman. His role earned him another Academy Award nomination, further cementing his legacy. Throughout his career, people frequently remarked on his piercing blue eyes, which became as legendary as his acting. However, Newman never let his appearance define him, once humorously suggesting that his tombstone read, "Here lies Paul Newman, who died a failure because his eyes turned brown." By then, however, he had already built a career far beyond his looks. Paul Newman met Joanne Woodward in 1953 when they were both understudies in the Broadway play Picnic. At the time, he was married to Jackie Witt and had 3 children, while Woodward was dating well-known figures like Gore Vidal and Marlon Brando. Their connection was instant, but it remained platonic at first. Newman later admitted that he was immediately drawn to Woodward's modern and independent nature, contrasting with his more conservative outlook, making her even more captivating to him. Their relationship took a new direction in 1957 when they reunited to co-star in The Long, Hot Summer. By then, Newman's marriage was unraveling, and his bond with Woodward grew stronger until they could no longer ignore their feelings. In 1958, after finalizing his divorce, Newman married Woodward in a Las Vegas ceremony. They honeymooned in England before returning to build their life together. Despite the excitement of their new marriage, Newman felt guilt over how he handled his divorce, admitting that he didn't explain it well to his children. Nevertheless, his love for Woodward was undeniable. He once said that she gave birth to a sexual creature within him. That passion shaped their marriage for the next 50 years, a remarkable feat, especially in Hollywood. Their marriage was deep and enduring, but not without challenges. Newman once famously remarked, "I have steak at home. Why should I go out for hamburger?" A statement meant to convey his loyalty but also hinting at the temptations they faced. One of the most significant challenges was his battle with alcoholism, followed by the heartbreaking loss of his son Scott in 1978 to a drug overdose, an event that took a severe toll on the family. Their daughter, Melissa, later revealed that her parents fought hard to stay together, even during the darkest times. To escape the pressures of Hollywood, Newman and Woodward moved to Connecticut, seeking a quieter life for their 3 daughters. Newman frequently praised Woodward for keeping him grounded, and despite their individual careers, they always supported one another. This balance became one of the strongest aspects of their relationship. Professionally, they often collaborated, working together on 16 films, starting with The Long, Hot Summer in 1958. One of Newman's most acclaimed roles came in The Verdict, 1982, where he portrayed Frank Galvin, a washed-up lawyer seeking redemption through a medical malpractice case. Newman's portrayal captured Galvin's despair, determination, and gradual reclaiming of self-respect, earning 5 Academy Award nominations, including 1 for Newman's performance. Although he did not win, the role remains one of his most powerful. Throughout his career, Newman had been nominated for 7 Oscars without winning. In 1986, the Academy honored him with a Lifetime Achievement Oscar, almost as if they believed he might never win a competitive one. However, the very next year, he won his first competitive Oscar for The Color of Money, 1986, reprising his role as Fast Eddie Felson from The Hustler, 1961. Now older and wiser, Eddie was still driven by a desire for one last shot at greatness, mentoring a young pool player, portrayed by Tom Cruise. The film explored pride, ambition, and aging, earning Newman the long-overdue Best Actor award in 1987. Even as he grew older, Newman never lost his touch. In Nobody's Fool, 1994, he played Sully Sullivan, a gruff yet endearing handyman with a lifetime of regrets. Despite being 69, he delivered one of his most relatable performances, earning another Academy Award nomination. His final live-action role came in Road to Perdition, 2002, where he played John Rooney, an Irish mob boss torn between loyalty and family. His nuanced portrayal of a man balancing love and duty earned him his last Academy Award nomination for Best Supporting Actor at 77, a fitting end to a legendary career spanning more than 5 decades. Despite his immense success, Paul Newman's life was far from perfect. He battled self-doubt, struggled as a father, and faced a lifelong struggle with alcohol. In his memoir, The Extraordinary Life of an Ordinary Man, he revealed a vulnerable side few knew, admitting to feeling like an imposter and fearing that his good looks had afforded him opportunities he hadn't earned. Even after iconic roles in The Hustler, 1961, and Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid, Newman remained convinced that he wasn't as talented as people believed. He described himself as anxious and doubtful, always fearing that his perceived success was built on a fragile foundation. In 1969, Paul Newman still couldn't shake the feeling that he didn't belong. These insecurities had taken root during his childhood. His mother treated him more like a trophy than a son, while his father, an alcoholic, left him with wounds that never fully healed. His second wife, Joanne Woodward, played a significant role in helping him find some confidence. She saw qualities in him that he couldn't see in himself and encouraged him to embrace his reputation as a sex symbol, but even that wasn't enough to quiet his doubts. Newman constantly questioned whether people admired him for his talent or just for his looks. In his memoir, he expressed his desire to break down the perfect image people had constructed around him, wanting the world to know the real person behind the fame. His struggles weren't just personal. As a father of 6 children, Newman often felt that he had failed them. He admitted to being impatient, inconsistent, and absent at times. This sense of failure hit him hardest in 1978 when his son Scott died of a drug overdose at just 28. Newman carried deep guilt over Scott's struggles, wondering if his own success had made life harder for his son and whether Scott had felt pressure to live up to his father's achievements. Despite these personal battles, Newman pursued his passion for racing. One of his most remarkable moments came when his team pushed through brutal weather conditions, completing 299 laps and finishing second overall and first in their class. This was a significant accomplishment, especially for someone who started racing later in life. His performance drew attention in the motorsport world, proving that he was more than just a movie star. In 1983, Newman partnered with Carl Haas to create Newman Haas Racing, a team that soon became one of the most dominant in IndyCar history. Their first season was a breakthrough as Mario Andretti won the 1984 kart championship, establishing the team as a formidable contender. In 1993, they made history again by signing reigning Formula One champion Nigel Mansell, who went on to win the IndyCar championship in his rookie season, an unprecedented achievement. Over nearly 3 decades, Newman Haas Racing secured 108 race wins and 8 championships. Despite his successful racing career, Newman never abandoned acting. In 2006, he voiced Doc Hudson in Pixar's Cars, playing a retired race car with a legendary past, a character that paralleled Newman's own history in racing. He enjoyed working on the project, appreciating Pixar's storytelling as much as the racing connection. The film became a massive hit, earning $462 million worldwide. Although he retired from acting in 2007, his voice reappeared in Cars 3, 2017, through archival recordings. By then, Newman's health was in decline. He spoke openly about aging, admitting, "You start to lose your memory, your confidence, your invention." Nevertheless, his passion never faded. Paul Newman was more than just a Hollywood icon. He was a man who carried both triumph and tragedy, transforming his struggles into a meaningful legacy. He passed away on September 26, 2008, at the age of 83, succumbing to lung cancer while at home in Westport, Connecticut, with Joanne Woodward by his side. His legacy extended far beyond his iconic roles in films like Cool Hand Luke and The Hustler. Unlike many actors, Newman didn't chase fame. He valued family and purpose over the spotlight. His marriage to Joanne Woodward lasted 50 years, a rare love story in Hollywood, and together, they raised 3 daughters, Nell, Melissa, and Clea. Newman also had 3 children from his first marriage to Jackie Witt. His life was not without profound pain. The loss of his son Scott in 1978 shattered him, and he blamed himself, wondering if he could have done more. Instead of letting grief consume him, Newman took action by founding the Scott Newman Center, dedicated to helping others battle substance abuse. Although he rarely spoke about his pain, his actions revealed his deep compassion. By 2007, Newman had retired from acting, and despite rumors about his failing health, he maintained his characteristic humor, brushing off concerns with jokes. His daughters have shared glimpses of his real personality. Melissa wrote in his memoir about his struggles with self-worth, rooted in a childhood shaped by a distant, demanding father and a mother whose overwhelming affection made him uncomfortable. These early experiences left a lasting mark, but Newman found a way to move forward. Clea, another of his daughters, believes that her father's greatest happiness came from helping others. She now works with the Serious Fun Children's Network, a global community of camps for children with serious illnesses, feeling her father's presence whenever she visits, knowing that his work continues to make a difference. One of Newman's most enduring legacies was Newman's Own, a food company he co-founded in 1982 with author A.E. Hochner. It all began with a simple Christmas gift, homemade salad dressing that Newman gave to friends. When the response was overwhelmingly positive, he decided to sell it. He and Hochner invested $20,000, and the brand grew into a philanthropic powerhouse, donating all profits to charity, totaling over $600 million to date. This project reflected Newman's belief in giving back, solidifying his legacy as a humanitarian as much as an actor and a racer.